Hey Chiefs Kingdom, buckle up because this one is heating up fast. We've got fresh Kansas City Chiefs draft buzz that could seriously shake up the first round. And trust me, this is not just smoke. This is the kind of move that could define the future of this defense. There's a new name gaining traction inside the building, and it's coming at a position that suddenly became one of the biggest question marks on this roster. Cornerback. Yeah, we need to talk about it. And here's the twist. This visit might be telling us way more than the team wants us to know. So stay with me, because what I'm about to break down could completely change how we see the Chiefs' 2026 NFL draft strategy. The Kansas City Chiefs just wrapped up one of their final pre-draft visits, and the name turning heads is Colton Hood, a cornerback out of Tennessee. This wasn't just a casual meeting. This was one of the last in-person evaluations before the deadline. That timing matters. Teams don't waste final visits on players they're not seriously considering, especially not a franchise like Kansas City that plans every move with precision. And when you connect the dots, it starts to look like the Chiefs may be preparing something bigger than expected at the cornerback position. Let's talk about Hood himself, because this guy is no ordinary prospect. Standing at 6 feet and weighing 193 pounds, he has the ideal NFL frame for an outside corner. But what really jumps out are his athletic numbers. A blazing 4.44 in the 40-yard dash, a 40.5-inch vertical, and a 125-inch broad jump. That's elite explosiveness. This is the kind of physical profile that defensive coordinators dream about, especially in a system that values speed, aggression, and versatility. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Hood didn't just stay in one place during his college career. He moved from Auburn to Colorado and then to Tennessee. Some might see that as a red flag, but others see adaptability. The ability to learn new systems, adjust quickly, and still produce at a high level. And in his final season, he did exactly that, starting 12 games and putting up solid, impactful numbers across the board. We're talking 50 tackles for 0.5 tackles for loss, 1 interception that he took all the way to the house, 8 pass breakups, and even a forced fumble. That's not just coverage ability, that's playmaking. That's a guy who finds ways to impact the game in multiple phases. And those performances earned him third-team All-SEC honors, which in that conference means something. Now let's connect him to the Chiefs' defensive identity. Because if you've been watching this team, you already know what kind of corners they like. Physical, aggressive, smart, guys who can press at the line and disrupt timing. And Hood fits that mold almost perfectly. This is exactly the type of player that thrives under Steve Spagnuolo's system. A corner who doesn't just react, but attacks. He plays with an edge, gets hands-on in coverage, and isn't afraid to battle receivers at the catch point. That's Chiefs football on defense. And here's something that might excite you even more, his versatility. There's a real possibility he could play both outside corner and nickel. That kind of flexibility is huge in today's NFL, where offenses constantly shift formations and attack mismatches. If the Chiefs see him as a hybrid piece, his value skyrockets instantly. Another thing that stands out is his football IQ. Reports say he diagnoses plays quickly before the snap and reacts fast to short passes. That's exactly the kind of instinct that defensive backs coach Dave Merritt loves. Quick processing plus athleticism. That's a dangerous combination. Now let's shift to the bigger picture, because this is where things get a little controversial. There's been talk that the Chiefs could go cornerback in the first round. Yeah, you heard that right. And this visit is fueling that speculation even more. But let's be real for a second. Would the Chiefs really spend a top 10 pick on a corner who might not start immediately? That's where things don't fully add up, especially when you consider the current roster situation. Now here's something important. We need to correct part of the narrative floating around. Reports claiming that the Chiefs traded away Trent McDuffie are not accurate. That hasn't happened, and he remains a key piece of this defense. So while there has been turnover at the position, it's not as extreme as some reports suggest. Still, there are legitimate concerns about depth. And that's where this entire situation starts to make more sense. The Chiefs do have players like Christian Fulton and Noel Williams who could step into bigger roles. But behind them, that's where things get thin. And in a long NFL season, depth at cornerback is absolutely critical. So here's the real question. Does Kansas City address that need early, or do they wait? At pick number 9, it might be a reach for a player like Hood. But when you get to pick number 29, now we're talking. That's where a player on the fringe of the first round becomes extremely valuable. And guess what? Hood is currently ranked right around that range on most big boards. That puts him right in the Chiefs' sweet spot. But here's the gamble. If they don't take him at 29, they risk losing him before their next pick. And in a draft where corners are in high demand, that's a real possibility. So the front office has a decision to make. Play it safe or take a calculated risk. And knowing this team, they're not afraid to bet on themselves. Now I want to hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. Do you think the team should go cornerback in the first round? Is Colton Hood the right fit, or should they target another position? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is just getting started. And if you're loving this kind of Kansas City Chiefs breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with every Chiefs fan you know. Because draft season is heating up, and we're just getting started.